I absolutely love libraries.
The public library was an escape for me. It was a safe space for me. A good friend of mine, she had said to me that the most relevant public amenity out of all of the amenities the Gisborne District Council has, which are the parks and the sports fields and things like that, the most relevant public amenity to young Māori males was the Olympic pool. And I enjoyed my time at the Olympic pool while I was growing up, but actually for me, when I was a young Māori male, the amenity that was the most important to me was the H.P. Williams Memorial Library, our public library.
As a young kid growing up, I had the most amazing mentors and role models around me, and the two key things I remember most about them is that they were avid readers or voracious readers. And I start with my dad, who's no longer with us, but Dad was an avid reader. If he wasn't working, Dad had a book in his hand or he had a book right beside him. And after my dad comes my amazing sister Storm. Everywhere around the house were piles of books. Every room of the house had a pile of books in it. And like Dad, if she wasn't working, she was reading. And I always, what makes her amazing is that she could read multiple books at once, and she'd remember all of those books, and she'd talk to you about them, and she'd remember which book it came from, which I find amazing. And then I have a little laugh today because I think I'm a hybrid of both of those great people in my life.
We started coming to the library when I was, 5, 6, 7, so around about then. We continued that up until my intermediate years, and by then reading was a definite passion for me, so I was always reading. My passion for reading did actually start prior to that. My mum used to read books to me all the time, and I would voraciously devour these books.
I like that about libraries. They draw you in and then you get lost, and next minute the one book you went for, you walk out with 10. That's me.
We got to walk from my school all the way to the library, and then I got to pick all of these books, return all of my previous books, and I got to pick all of these new books. And actually, to be quite honest, there wasn't any other student at school that took as many books from the library that I took. I was that kid.
So libraries, books had a huge impact on me growing up and led into me going to university. One of the first things I do when we travel away is I've got to go to the library. It's not shopping, it's not food, it's a library. Don't tell many people that. Generally it's a university library because of the access to more information. And if it's a city that doesn't have a library, I have to go to every single bookstore in the town.
There are models around the world that have things that you can borrow from the library, which are just next level. I mean, I'd love to go to some of them, but some of them are like one's in Boston and one's in Philadelphia, and there's some through Italy and all of those kinds of things. And council doesn't pay me enough to be able to fly over to those places.
My children, who once upon a time resisted going to all these bookstores, now say to me, "We're just buying 2 books each, aren't we, Mum?" Like, yes, that's right, just 2 books.
What was once manuscripts and scrolls has now grown to include books, which will hopefully also start to grow to include a plethora of other things that we can access knowledge via.
I recently read an article by author Neil Gaiman, and this is what he said. What he's saying is that the main importance of libraries is where we go to access information, and information comes in lots of different forms today. It can be having access to a computer so you can get on the internet to find out about a particular topic. It could be applying for a job interview. The key thing is information, and with information we can get knowledge and we can learn.
I'm quite excited actually about our new library, because I do love physical books.
I love the entrance, I love the potama design as you walk in, our path of learning, that we've got to take steps to get to success. And I love those toke, the original writing instruments, because reading leads to writing, which leads to success for a lot of people.
We've moved on technologically, so I'm really looking forward to what this library will bring, because if it's going to be a centre of knowledge, there are so many other things that come under that mantle.
So our library is going to have modern learning spaces, it's going to have meeting places, it's going to have a room where the public can hire it out. The tween space is going to have technology that the kids can have as well, so it's not just books, it's
DVDs, games, and games for the entertainment experience point of view, because reading's about entertainment and experience and all that kind of thing, but also reading books helps people want to write books, right? And same as taking out games kind of excites people to want to try to maybe contribute to those games in some way, shape or form, maybe design something in terms of graphics, maybe become a computer programmer.
I think the community is going to be wowed with the final result of our library. The bigger space that we've got, the new tools that we have for our children. I hope that it's going to develop lifelong learners and a lot of people in our community. I do want to have a massive shout out to the Williams family. Firstly for building the library in 1967, having the foresight to give us a larger piece of land for a future expansion, which we've now done. They continue to contribute to the library as well. They're an amazing pillar to the success of our city. I do know there was 3 families that bequeathed a lot of money in the past. I'd like to thank them as well. And I'm really excited about the opening. I just can't wait. It's going to be absolutely magnificent. We have an amazing Māori history section in our reference library. It's gold, and I'm not sure whether many people know about that, but if you want to know anything about local history, not just Māori history, history of our region, you will find it all in there, and I think it's probably not recognised by a lot of people that it sits there, but I'm really proud of that aspect of our library.
I think Māori will use this new library a lot more, because there are spaces and places inside that library that will reflect us as people, as East Coast people, exclusive of the fact that we're Māori, as people that live in this region, in the Gisborne district region, in Te Tai Rāwhiti. I think that this new library will reflect that, and it'll make it more engaging, for our Māori communities.
I'm also very excited about showcasing our local literacy giants and authors from Tai Rāwhiti. The ones that come to mind first, of course, are a magnificent Murray Ball, Dame Anne Salmon and her Māori history that she's captured throughout the decades of her work, Dr. Monty Suter, etc, etc, etc. We have some amazing authors from this region.
Well, I would see a whole range of different people using the library, so some elderly, some people that were in between jobs, young parents taking their children to the library, tourists were a huge thing, having freely available Wi-Fi at the library, and also through our CBD is something that people from all over the world enjoy, and also those people who don't have regular access to those kinds of things. But that's what a library is supposed to be for. Having access to solid Wi-Fi does cost money. Not everybody is in the financial position to be able to afford Wi-Fi, which I believe as a library should be offering that as a public good.
A large part of the culture is the librarians and the people that are there to help you. And here in Tai Rāwhiti, the H.B. Williams Library, from being a little grommet to today, we've always had outstanding librarians.
We've got some really competent good and kind-hearted staff here, and then we also have staff here that have competencies inside that Te Ao Māori space. When the building reflects the community, that's when the community starts going to that building.
When I was doing my PhD research, I came into the H.B. Williams Library and was looking through all the old libraries and trying to get information about storm events. And the culture I witnessed at that time was absolutely magnificent. How supportive they were, how they wanted to assist you with the information you needed to get. And if you're a lifelong learner, like most of us are, and you get to combine it with an amazing culture of really supportive people around you, then nothing but success can happen for you. I have multiple books on the go myself now. I can be reading 4 to 5 books at a time. And it is my happy place. If I'm not busy, you'll find me buried in a book.
The Olympic pool was fun to go to, but reading changes lives. So that's why this library is an important place.